didn't have a competitive team, so I didn't want an outlet to go out and compete. Instead, my coach would local parades. So we would wave and we'd have fun doing our cartwheels, but at some point you realize that when you're walking in a parade behind the horses, you don't really want to put your hands down. So just think about that for a moment. So I decided about that time that I really had to learn my aerial, my side aerial. That is basically a cartwheel with no hands. And basically wanted to learn it so I didn't have to put my hands down in the parade. So we're going to do that today. We are coming to you from TNT Gymnastics and Fitness here in Jacksonville. And Ella's going to help us show what the finished product looks like. What does a side aerial look like? And then we'll break it down and show you how you can learn it. So before we actually do the aerial, you want to make sure you have a couple of things. Number one, you want your side split. So right side, left side, and center splits. We'll show center splits. And then we also need the right strength. So now we're going to make you work. We're going to do a couple of squat jumps and also mountain climbers. And these are great things to work in order to make sure you have enough strength to get your body over. So a couple of squat jumps. Of course, you'll do more than a couple. 20, 30, 40, 100, and then of course mountain climbers. And this is a great position because you're really going to use that lunge in order to start your aerial. So one of the mistakes that I see often in young athletes learning an aerial is that they want to jet down the runway or run halfway across the floor to get that momentum going so that they can get their aerial around. The trouble is, if you have all of that horizontal momentum, it actually makes it more difficult to get the momentum and the turn to rotate to your feet. So it's actually easier to go from less steps or maybe even one step and focus on pushing out of your bottom leg and kicking your upper leg. So you want to focus on stepping into it, and this is where those mountain climbers come in. You really want to bend deep, push strong out of your bottom leg, and really drive that back leg, that back heel up and over your head. Push out of that bottom leg, get that rotation going. And then as soon as your toe of your bottom foot hits the floor after you rotate, you want to focus on pulling that chest up. Don't leave it hanging down here. Pull that chest right up to finish the skill. Now we're going to take one more look at what a finished product looks like. What's the final side aerial look like? So one of the questions I get most is, what do I do with my arms? And that's a toughie. Now, one of the things is you have to get past that idea of leaving your arms down just in case you miss. If you leave your arms down, you're dragging them along, it's slowing your momentum, you can't get that turn. So you really have to just decide you're going to do it and pick those arms up. There's a couple of different things that you can do with your arms. Some people like what we call a Russian lift. I didn't do as well with that one because I felt like my arms were in my way. What I typically did was begin to swing my arms to start that momentum and then bend them as quickly as possible, pull them into my body so that I could rotate faster. And that seems to help. So when you're watching these, watch the video over and over, put it on slow motion, and make sure you're really watching where the arms are so that you can get an idea. And then just try it. Everything is a little bit different for each gymnast. It's very personal. So just try it and try it and try it and try to get that feeling. But most of all, make sure you pick those hands up off the floor. Okay, so next comes chest height. Where do we put our chest? Now, sometimes people think that it's good to put your chest really all the way down on your launch leg, which allows for you to have more room to get your back leg up and over. And that works. That's typically how I did my aerial. But there's also another great way to do that, and that's really just placing your chest at a certain level and then driving your heel up and over. And that gives you a little bit more room between your chest and the floor, so it allows you a little bit more time before you hit the ground. Now, try both ways, see what works best for you. I hope those tips have helped you get started on your side aerial, and you can also work a few drills as well. It's great to work your side aerial off of a tumble track, a springboard, or even off a pano mat like Ella's about to do.